welcome to the Big Small Business Show, where we showcase young entrepreneurs who are making an impact in our society. And I'm Deborah Ezeh. On the show today, we should be diving into the world and business of fish farming. And with me is a man who has carved and created a niche in this aspect of farming. Today's episode was made possible by AFRICUNIA, your #1 go-to for agricultural produce. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, it's going to be talks about fishes all the way. Stay with me. It's good to have you on the show, Mr. Toju, the fish farmer.
Thank you.
So introduce yourself and what you do to the viewers.
Okay. My name is Toju Nanu. I'm an architect and also a fish farmer, and would I say a general businessman. So that's basically my core area.
Okay.
And,
so today we'll be centering on the fish farming part. So I'm interested. What bettered the whole fish, farming idea, and how did it come, how did it come to life?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it came to light through financial responsibilities,
Right.
and I knew that money doesn't grow on trees, so I needed to generate like an extra source of income.
Okay.
And I was deliberating on what to go into. Then I realized that agriculture is an essential part of humankind and human need. So I chose to go into that field. Then I tried to look for which area to specialize in, and that was I settled for fish farming.
So how would you describe a fish farming business? Because apart from visuals where you see ponds and fishes, I really do not understand, what it is. So how would you describe the fish farming business?
Fish farming is a very interesting business. On the surface, it's very easy to run. However, a lot of planning and procedure needs to be put in place to actually enjoy fish farming business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the basic requirements to start a fish farm, and how can you describe a good farm site for fishing?
Okay. The first basic requirement you need for fish farming is knowledge about fish farming. I can't overemphasize that fact. You really need to have a good knowledge. You understand? I won't advise anybody going into fish farming to go into it with experimental view. Let me just try to see if it works or not. To definitely fail. So if you have a good knowledge, it's your first requirement. Then access to water is another basic requirement that you need. And once you have that, then you have your space. And you're good to go.
How do you get these fishes? Because I think about that one that you import. Do you go to the stream yourself, cast the net, and you get the fishes yourself? How do you get these fishes?
The world is now a beautiful place.
Okay.
A lot of things are now easier. So we actually hatch these fingerlings ourselves.
Okay.
And or we get from suppliers.
You hatch them. Can you explain that part?
So we get an adult fish, male and female, and we breed them together. There's a process it takes, and they lay eggs. The eggs are fertilized and they hatch into baby fishes. So that's how we get fishes. Just the way we get babies too.
Okay. You got me there. So how many fishes can a pond rear?
Okay. Well, it depends on the size you intend to grow the fishes into. So an average 1,000 liter pond can contain about 100 fishes at 1 kg. So if you have baby fishes, that same 1,000 liters could take maybe 1,000 fingerlings.
Okay.
However, the general rule of thumb is 100 fishes for 1,000 liters.
100 fishes for 1,000. Okay. So how long does it take for these fishes to grow to marketable size? Because that's the goal at the end of the day, to sell and market. So how long does it take?
It takes anywhere between 4 to 6 months, depending on how you handle them, on the fishes themselves, you know.
Okay, so we'll go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll talk about return of investment. Okay. Because at the end of the day, in entrepreneur sector, money is actually the goal at the end of the day, even if you enjoy doing what you like. Yeah. So when we come back, is more from Roju. Stay with me. So welcome back. Before we went on that break, we were to discuss on your return of investment. So how does that work? When you take these fishes to the market, do you get paid for, you know, the amount, the stress like you put into growing this beautiful animals? Because I'm going to call them, these fingerlings are actually beautiful animals. So do you get your return of investment at the end of the day?
Well, there are a lot of factors that play into returns on investment. But one thing I can guarantee in fish farm, if you actually take all the necessary steps, you are assured at least your capital won't be lost. Now, to make profits, there are lots of factors that now come into play. Okay,
before we talk about the factors, I'm interested in what these fishes eat. Okay. Because, you know, you said like babies actually have, you know, things that you breed them with. So what do these fishes eat? And do you use fertilized method or you use handmade method? How does it work?
Well, for any fish farmer out there, based on my own experience, I would advise you just go for the
natural?
The regular fish feeds in the market. There are fish feeds. That is feeds formulated by companies specifically to feed the type of fish you are growing, either catfish or tilapia or whatever. So I advise people to do that. So going into all those local methods of feeding fishes with anything, some people even go as far as feeding their fishes with a bar and their bonus. So this is ridiculous. You're just wasting your time. It's really not helping the fishes in any way.
So how do you stay up to date with you know, the trend on feeds? Because like you said, since these are companies, the actual companies that manufacture these feeds for, you know, farmers, how do you stay up to date, you know, to get the right feed and the feed that is actually moving, the ones that are actually good, the ones that are no longer good? How do you stay up to date?
Well, my answer may be funny, but the best way to get good updates on that is to have a good relationship with your retailer. Okay. So he or she is selling to multiple farms, and each of those farms are giving feedback.
Of course.
So he or she will be able to recommend that, okay, this feed actually has a good yield in returns and things like that.
Okay. So all businesses have its advantages and its disadvantages. So I want us to start with the challenges that you faced in this business. That's why I paused you, you know, when you were about to say it. So now is the time for us to talk about the challenges in this business.
Well, like any business, fish farming can be divided into two. There's one will be the art of rearing the fish and breeding the fish. The second part is now the business part. Now, majority of the disadvantages in fish farming falls on the business aspect. Rearing the fish is quite simple, and there are little or no disadvantages on that area, except maybe the costs, you know, which is okay. But the business area, that's where we have a lot of disadvantages. One major disadvantage is marketers. When this market women comes to buy your fish, they come with cash and they come with good money, but they come with a very strong bargaining position. So you may not sell at the price you desire. It's one big disadvantage in the business area. Another disadvantage will be not tracking your finances. You know, so you are overspending. If a fish requires, say, 1,000 naira to grow to 1 kg, that same fish can consume 5,000 naira and still grow to 1 kg. So that additional 4,000 naira you're spending is more like snacks for the fish. It's not going to make any difference. It's not going to make the fish grow faster. It's not going to make the fish grow bigger. So if you don't track your expenses, like this fish, I've spent 1,000 naira on you, let me put it that way, you should be this size by now. You know, if you don't track that, you tend to make a huge loss in that area.
So what about the advantages, the whooping part of
definitely the good part of the advantages is the return. You know, every 6 months you know you are going to smile.
Every 6 months? I'm definitely venturing into fish farming.
Every 6 months you are going to smile. Before we had this economic hardship in the country, the returns were as good as even 50%. Yeah, if you plan very well.
So even with the hardship and the instability in the country, it's safe to say that fish farming is profitable.
Yes, it's still very profitable.
Okay.
If you understand fish farming, it's still profitable. At least you should be able to make 35% profit.
Yeah. So these animals, they have immune system.
Yeah.
And there's every tendency that they get to break down. So how do you undo the disease aspect?
It's simple. Fish farming, the rule in fish farming is prevention is better than cure. You understand? And most times it's very difficult for fishes to recover when they fall sick. Yeah, although you can only try and hope they do. So your best method is prevention. Try as much as possible to prevent diseases.
Okay.
And you can do that by creating a very clean environment for them and sterilizing, your hands and your feet before you go into the tanks and things like that. So.
Okay, so what is the key to success in this aspect of business?
Okay, the key to success in fish farming, on the rearing aspect now, I think I would say is water. You need large quantity of water, as in your business should be competing with the ocean or the stream. So you need consistent water. Either you are sourcing it from a borehole or a well or whatever. So you need to have that constant
water supply.
Yeah,
okay,
it's key. In fact, that's like the secrets to fish farming.
Having large amounts of water.
Yes.
Okay. So definitely there are people who would watch this and would want to venture into the fish farming business. So what do you have to say to them?
Okay. Well, it's easy. It's easy for anyone to go into fish farming, like I said. Basically, once you've done a little training, you've had a little knowledge on fish farming, you can venture into it. There's really no difficulty in fish farming. The only thing is the cost of setup. It could be high initially, but once you set up, you are done with that. You are not going to do it the next time. So it's as easy as ABC.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, Mr. Toju, the fish farmer.
You're
and
welcome.
This was a very educative section, and I really enjoyed myself.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was amazing exploring the world of farming and what it takes to be a trendsetter in the farming industry. And not just any kind of farming, but the fish farming. At this point, that's all we have for you on the show today. I am Deborah Ezeh. Until I come your way next time, remember to always dream big, stay focused, and make it happen.